how do you get people to get off these addictive things? Because they are addictive and they are habit forming. Like, are there tips you give to people to be like, well, I can't just go from all this to eating vegetables as my only serving and water as my only drink?
Yeah, I mean, I like to focus on foods that are satiating and nutrient dense. And it's kind of like, it helps to like kind of crowd out in a way the foods that are addicting, like the hyper palatable foods from the grocery store that have, they add MSG and natural flavors and yeast extract to make people addicted, and all the sugar. Like they actually have, I think it's called a bliss point or something. The food marketing, they use like a word called the bliss point, and it's like that's the right amount of sugar, fat, and salt that makes people addicted. So if you're gonna crowd that out, you have to like introduce a healthy food that's super satiating, whether that's like even like a grass-fed ribeye or burger. Those are super satiating foods. And I know red meat's like heavily vilified, and people are sometimes scared to eat it because they think it's going to cause heart disease. But if they're getting a good quality beef, and I think it's actually pretty easy to get good quality beef in this country, luckily. And if it's grass-fed and grass-finished, it's going to have a very high nutrient profile, and the fatty acid content's also going to be ideal. Like it's not going to have those pro-inflammatory fats. Like even chicken, like conventional chicken, it's going to be high in PUFA because they're fed corn and soy. So when I buy chicken, I recommend like soy and corn-free pasture-raised chicken too. So like nutrient dense foods, like with ghee and butter, some seasonings, whatever seasoning, like salt is very satiating, and that's great to add to foods like sea salt, because the less processed foods you eat, the more you could liberally salt your own food. So
it's like what it comes down to, it seems like, is go against everything you were taught by most of like the US government and all like, the FDA and everything. Because it would be like, cut down your fat, cut down your salt, don't eat too much red meat. Like all of these things are actually, it's the opposite. It's like focus on quality, eat in moderation, but absolutely you need those things for a healthy body.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and heart disease is the number one killer. And they don't really focus on foods or nutrients, I should say, that would really help with protecting the arteries. Like vitamin K2 is really rich in dairy products, animal products. I think the only product that's not an animal product is some sort of fermented like natto or something that you can get K2, but that helps protect the arteries, and it's not even listed in the food guidelines.
Yeah. I mean, it's missing so much. I feel like you just need to disregard most food guidelines, read a few good books on it from independent sources that really know what they're talking about, and then, go with your intuition and start to eat those things and see how you feel. Start to eat those things that you're like, oh, I can't eat that. And I always ate margarine and, sprayed on, different types of oils, and like, no, go the ghee, get some good, go with the quality. You don't need too much. You will be satiated with that. And I think that's the best advice.